and I was like, do you guys have chocolate sprinkles? And the girl was like, no, we only have multicolored. And I was like, this fucking city. God damn it. No, it doesn't have anything to do with you, but this fucking city is tearing me apart. You gotta start saying it. Do it to your boss on Monday. If he gives you a new task, just be like, can you get this done by Wednesday? This fucking city. Are you upset with me? No, it's not you. It's this goddamn municipality. Do you guys ever have nightmares? Thank you. The last crowd, this is real. I said, do you guys ever have nightmares? And they said, nothing. They said nothing. You asked 2,000 people, do you have nightmares? And they, we don't have them, we're just in yours. You always want to tell people about your nightmares, right? Don't we all want to tell? Because it's a prison of your own mind's devising. It's really a horrible thing. But no one wants to hear it because it's not a linear narrative. Right? And we're used to stories. Okay, so I had this nightmare last night. I woke up it was like my principal's office, but it was also my parents' bedroom, but it's neither. Does that make sense? And then suddenly I turn around and I'm on the beach and I'm like, oh my God, there must be jellyfish, because you know I'm scared of jellyfish. Do you remember? Did I tell you this when I got stung in New Jersey? I haven't told you this story. You're gonna love that story. Halfway through it, your friends are like, just stop, don't tell me, I don't want to hear this, just stop wasting my time. Time is an incredibly important commodity, just stop. And I was in the middle of telling my nightmare to this group of people, and this guy, he was kind of like a douchey kind of a guy. I'm trying to look around and find somebody that he didn't look like, there's no douchebags in Colorado that didn't. Well, look, he looked a little like you. Look, he had a backwards pro-back hat on. No, not you, sir, the person behind you. You look like a cool teacher. This fucking guy has glasses, like reading glasses, bifocals, perhaps. He's got reading glasses, but he's got sunglasses hanging from his white button-down shirt. Like just that cool teacher that's like, hey, school's out. Let's talk, let's rap. How you kids doing? You guys all right, yeah? A lot of people wanting to do drugs, huh? Putting on the pressure. You take it from me, all right? I did cocaine in the 1990s, all right? A lot of it, all right? A lot. I ended up in a motor hotel room in Omaha, coked out of my mind after being up for 8 days. You know what I told myself? God darn it, I'm gonna be a teacher. And I'm gonna be the coolest goddamn teacher on the face of the planet. And I decided never to button more than, I always will have 2 or 3 buttons unbuttoned, so that while I talk to you, my chest hair is distracting. Mr. Gerlich, I hate you. So this kind of douchey guy was just like, oh, you have nightmares? Because I actually, I have night terrors. I was like, fuck you, don't one-up me with your night terrors. You're like, oh, sorry to hear about your bad dreams about female horses. Sorry to hear about your nightmares. But actually, my nights are filled with terror. So what I did is I went to his house in the dead of the night and I built a bed that was a mirror image of his bed, and I put the feet of the bed together and I dressed exactly as he was dressed in identical sleeping garments, and I went to sleep and I awaited him awaking from his night terror, and then I also awoke and mirrored all of the things that he did. So he was like, ah! And I'm like, ah! And he's like, ah! And I'm like, ah! Then I hit a button and all these lights from Home Depot that I had set up just flooded the room. And I went, which is more terrifying, your night or my day? It's super expensive. And buddy, I'll tell you what, if they wake up while you're setting up the lights, you can kiss that friendship goodbye. But so I'm from here, I live in Los Angeles, I smoke marijuana. In Los Angeles, I have a prescription. For marijuana. That guy stood up. Hey, okay. That's how high he was. He was like, everybody's gonna stand up for marijuana. Yeah. We're not standing. I thought everybody was gonna stand. But I have a prescription for marijuana in Los Angeles. It's medicinal, okay? It's for anxiety. Primarily anxiety about getting arrested for marijuana. America was founded on two things. One of them we don't like to talk about, and the other is tobacco. So, marijuana is the new cash crop. It's going to take us, through the next millennium. It's exciting. And Denver's at the forefront. I love it. Now, I like your laugh. You laugh like he looks. You laugh like a cool teacher, like one of the kids made a reference to Snapchat and he thought it was funny. He was like, I'm not making fun of your laugh. I would never do that. Have you ever had a friend make fun of the way you laugh? You ever had a friend that you have? You know what your friend is saying when they make fun of the way that you laugh? Hey, you know that sound that you make when you're happy and joyful? And the tragedy that permeates our everyday life is momentarily abated for an ephemeral escapism? Yeah, you sound stupid. You should feel self-conscious when you're happy. You should be like, everything's okay for a moment. Wait, do I sound like a seal? Don't throw me the ball. Alcohol's a better friend to you than marijuana is. And I like marijuana. No, it is. It's a better friend because you black out. That's important. Everybody in here thinks they drink too much. Everybody in here said to themselves, I should drink less. Every single person. But no one in here has ever been like, you know what? I should drink more. I mean, I'm having a half a glass of wine every night that I go out to party. I should try this 4, 5, 6, forget to pick up your kids at school, glasses of wine. What have I been doing? What a great friend, alcohol. When you black out, the alcohol's going, hey, it's about to get pretty messy here in a second. You can go ahead and take off. We'll take it from here. We've got it from here on out. But when you smoke too much, marijuana is not a good friend. Instead of turning your mind off, like when you black out, it turns your mind all the way up completely. You're using your mind way too much, you become paranoid, you know what I mean? You're in a room with your good friends and you're like, every time I look away, they keep glancing at each other like, this fucking guy, you know? And they created some sort of hand language where they are like, the party would be more fun if he wasn't here. If we could get him out of here, the party would be more fun. Nothing. But when you smoke just the right amount of marijuana, it can be the greatest thing in the world. I had smoked a lot of marijuana, a lot, okay? And I was having trouble getting the movie to work in the motor hotel that I was staying in, which is a motel. And when I am very, very high, I speak very formally, so as if to appear not to be high. But I speak so formally that no one would ever talk like that unless they were very, very high. So I call the front desk, and I go, excuse me, I'd like to speak with the proprietor of this establishment. The inhabitant of room 113 is having difficulties with the entertainment center. He would like this remedied immediately. And when I say he, I speak of myself in the third person, for it is I, the man who is having difficulties with the entertainment center. And then I was on hold for a very long time, and I kind of drifted off. But then I realized suddenly that I had forgotten if I had told him to hold on, or if he had told me to hold on. And I go, you know, I figure make it ambiguous. So I go, hello? Little bit angry, a little bit of a quandary, but he was good. Because he came right back and he goes, hello? I mean, now I'm like, what's the move? You know what I mean? It's my move, okay? It's my move. But I don't know, I'm pretty good, so I go, are you there? But he was good, and he just goes, yeah? Are you? Checkmate. That did it for me. I was like, I don't know if I'm here. I'm high, I'm in room 113, call the police. I don't know if I'm supposed to work today, you call the police. And I was like, only if we can ride together. He said yes, friends ever since! Yes! That's how remarkable marijuana is. There are approximately 5 reasons I don't give a fuck One, parsley's not a garnish for me. When the plate hits the table, that's the first fucking thing I eat. Two, there is no stem to a strawberry. That's just the green part. And when I eat a strawberry, sir, I eat the whole fucking thing. And when shrimp is fried, I eat the tail. Oh dear, what did I just say? Three, I always choose the Spanish option at the ATM. What's the worst that can happen? I can always cancel our. Four, I don't put toilet paper down on public toilet seats. I don't do that. Sorry you didn't hear it from me, but that's what butts are for. Yeah, that's what butts are for. And no one's ever gotten sick through their butt. And except for AIDS and syphilis, a lot of sexually transmitted diseases that, a lot of them, most of them are fatal, so. The number 5 reason I don't give a fuck. Sorry I'm taking, but I fuck till I truck. You know what that means? You know what that means? That means I fuck and 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 I fuck until I get a CDL. That's a commercial driver's license. I start with short hauls in-state, then I start doing the tri-state hauls, then I do the longer hauls. Pac Northwest down to San Diego, then I do the transcontinental hauls. I'm doing San Diego up to Pennsylvania, down to Florida. Then I truck and I truck and I truck and I truck until I fuck. And I gotta be honest, I try not to fuck too much. It's completely disproportionate to the amount of trucking that you have to do to get back to the fucking. And so it's a lot of trucking, and it's, I don't know if you know any truckers or you've ever trucked before, but it's a lonely road. It's just an open road, and all you have is your CV and your handle. It's the type of life. Type of life where you get a French manicure just so it looks like you're getting a hand job when you jack off. Who's your favorite American historical figure? Who is it? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite American historical figure? What? Roosevelt. That's a good one. Get her the fuck out of here. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. My favorite American historical figure is George Washington Carver. George, yes, yes, yes. The greatest American inventor, a much better inventor than Eli Whitney, who invented the cotton gin, something that we all know exists, but none of us could imagine what it looks like at all. Watch right now, everybody, think of a cotton gin. Go, imagine it. I propose you're merely thinking of some kind of loom. And that's the only loom joke you'll ever hear. George Washington Carver, right? I mean, peanut butter, exactly. Peanut butter. He invented over 100 things with peanuts, but peanut butter. Can you imagine if you invented peanut butter? Would you keep it a secret just for a little while, for like a week or two? You wouldn't tell your wife or any of your friends? You just show up, your friends like, why are you so happy? You're like, no reason. But if you have some celery and some raisins, shit's about to go down. Thank you. I'll be in the bathroom. Don't come in. I'll call it ants on a log. Yeah! Right, but George Washington Carver, great man, right? I like to think he had a great relationship. But any great relationship requires transparency, okay? So that transparency is essential, right, in a great relationship. So I figured, like, she would kind of start to know that something was up, you know? She's like, George, you want me to bring the jelly sandwiches down to your inventing workshop? And he's like, no, Martha. And I don't know if her name is Martha, but neither do you. No, Martha, that's okay. Just leave the jelly sandwiches outside and I'll eat them without adding anything to them at all. Certainly nothing that would antiquate the idea of jelly sandwiches altogether. So eventually she's got to come to him and go, George, you got a secret. I can see it. There's a secret behind those eyes, George. I've tried to create an environment for transparency. George, what is this secret, George? And he doesn't have to say anything because, fellas, is not the best get out of jail free card. She's angry, but he just invented peanut butter. All he has to do as she's yelling at him, you know, he's just slowly pushes the peanut butter and jelly sandwich into her mouth, that fluffy white bread. He's cut the crust off, and she bites down. Ladies, it's the first time a woman has ever had a peanut butter and jelly. You gotta know, she just came. I mean, she just had the most violent orgasm of her life. And he gets on her, guys, you gotta know. He gets on her and he fucks her. I mean, he does. There's no other way to say it. He fucks her like the guy who just invented peanut butter, all right? And I'll tell you what, if you go home tonight and you have excellent intercourse, you know, which I can see cool teacher's gonna do a little role playing. Somebody's gonna get their diploma tonight. She's in a graduation cap. Look, I can do the whole thing, all right? But if you go home and you have excellent intercourse tonight, this is really important, okay? I want you to take a beat after you both climax. Just take a breath, and then turn to the person that you're with, you know, turn to the person next to you, and just say, that was like you just invented peanut butter. Because it's either the greatest compliment they've ever had, or a lot of people are gonna black out and not remember the show, and then it's the strangest ending to sex ever. So, look, I was in Yogi Bear, so I made a lot of money, and I want to talk to you guys about something, and that is, when you make a lot of money, don't spend it, okay? Save it. All right? Don't spend it like more's coming, all right? I mean, you saw my wife, Kate, and she puts up, I don't know if you can tell from my performance tonight, but I'm a handful. I'm a bit of a handful. And she puts up with a lot. I lost $73,000 last year on carnival games alone. up. It's a disease. All right? It's a disease. But she's with me. I mean, yeah, because you know, bitches be crazy. Am I right? Am I right? Bitches be crazy. I mean, bitches be crazy. Bitches be crazy. A bitch would be crazy. That's real though. Bitches be crazy. I mean, they do live in a society that expects them to have both a family and a career, because if they only have a career and they don't have a family, and they're just a lonely careerist woman, and if they only have a family, they're considered a housewife, which is some sort of failure because they don't have a career. Shit, if that was my situation, I'd be crazy too. Yeah! Bitches be crazy. Ever snurred of it? Ever snurred of it? You know what that is? Ever snurred of it? That's when you smell something a nerd heard. Ever snurred of it? Like if you're in your living room, you know, and you're with your friend and he does computer programming, but it's kind of as a hobby, so that's pretty nerdy. And he's just like, wait a second, I heard a crash in the kitchen. And you're like, smells like chrysanthemums. It must have been the flower vase. I snorted it. Wish I hadn't done that joke. Not pleased. You know, that's a real litmus test for how the more absurdist stuff is gonna go, and I'll tell you, I am not confident. I'll stop wasting your time with that snurted stuff. Time, again, being a very important commodity. Incredibly important. I mentioned that earlier. Time, in a post-religious, post-meaning society, it's the closest thing we have to a deity. That's true because it's the only thing that's omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. It's omniscient because everything that happens within time, so it must know about it. Also, that expression, only time will tell, that means that time knows something and it's not telling you until later. It's omnipresent because sooner or later you'll realize that the very infrastructure of our language is infected with temporal terms. Even right now I'm talking in terms of time, so we can't even communicate with that. You may not realize it now, but years from now you're gonna look back and be like, I didn't realize it at the time, but he was right about the time thing. And then it's omnipotent because eventually it will vanquish us all, but that brings us back to death. We don't talk about death in our society because it's morbid, right? That's the only adjective we have for talking about death. Morbid. That's never a positive adjective, right? It's a negative connotation we have talking about death. You know, you never compliment somebody with the word morbid. You never be like, hey, Steve, sorry, I know you're going home for the weekend. I just want to tell you, you were super morbid all week. Thank you so much. You're always talking about death, the ephemeral nature of our own existence. We have to reevaluate our values. Look, just do me a favor. Next week, keep it morbid. All right? Have fun with your family. I hope they don't die. Just kidding, but think about it, you piece of shit. talk about death with our friends or our family. We should. We don't talk about it with strangers. We'll talk about weather with strangers. That's always interesting to me. We have nothing to do with the weather. People are always talking about it. Summer's coming up. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hot next month, I heard. You know, winter's coming up. Ooh, fall's right around the corner. Summer vacation's coming up. Hey, guess what else? Death's coming up. Yeah, death. But you can't talk to somebody you don't know about. You couldn't get on an elevator. I've tried, you know what I mean? Just hot one, huh? Yeah. Not as hot as last week, though, huh? No. Tell you, if I had to go, I'd rather go this week, you know? No, not go anywhere, not go somewhere, go nowhere. You see on that one, I took the sleeping pills, then I decomposed. I died and then decomposed. Oh no, you don't have to press a button for me. I'm just along for the ride. Talk briefly about suicide. Suicide, also, we don't talk about it. Negative connotations. People who are suicidal feel ashamed. They feel like they shouldn't talk about it. They feel vulnerable. They're at the end of their line. And I had a great friend who died a year ago today. And I like to talk about him on stage. His name was Gleep Glarp the Gobble Snarf. And you know what? Hey, it's suicide. It's an uncomfortable subject. We can laugh, all right? Gleep and I went to college, and, you know, obviously Gleep Glarp the Gobble Snarf. He came from a very wealthy family, the Gobble Snarfs, who made a fortune gobbling snarf. We all know what snarfing is. It's when you sneeze and barf at the same time. So they made a living gobbling that. I mean, that is disgusting. It's like the Koch brothers. It's just deplorable. It's disgusting. It's despicable. All right? It's despicable. It is despicable. But you know, Gleep didn't want to follow in the footsteps of his family. So after college, and he was always a bit depressive, after college he started his own business, and he tried to switch it up. He started snarfing gobbles, you know, which is much less disgusting. You just have to go into the little turkey fields and wait near their beaks, and then when they, you snarf it up, you know. Much less disgusting. It's basically inhaling audio, so it's not gross at all. But, you know, that didn't work out. This economy, this fucking city. And he got depressed, and he started getting sick on purpose and drinking all the time. And I said to him, Gleep, reach out to me, you know? You're depressed, talk to me, call me. You're getting sick all the time. Use me as a resource. During flu season, he touched his tongue to a toilet seat. Yeah, that's what butts are for. You know what I mean? I don't think that's... But sure enough, he got really, really sick one night, and he got so drunk he passed out on his back on purpose, face up. And he, sure enough, he snarfed in his sleep. And because no one was there and he was face up, he gobbled his own snarf. So he choked on his own sneeze barf. And I want to tell you something. Some of you laughed at his last name and what his family did. That was the thing about Gleep. He would never, ever make fun of you because of your family, where you're from, who you are. Because I come from a family of burp farmers. You know that? I come from a family of burp farmers, and I think that farming is the backbone of this United States of America. All right? And I'm proud to be from a family of burp farmers. I even keep a little burp farm in our backyard, Kate and I. And how do I put this? This year's harvest came in pretty good. And here's a little burp I like to call beeps. Beeps. We got to talk about yet another reason that I do not give a fuck. And that is that morality is relative. Is what I'm going to tell you right now. Your values, what you think is good and bad, depends wholly on where you were born, where you're from, what time period you were born in. 2,000 years ago, you know, people would come up to each other and be like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, when the eclipse happened yesterday during the day and the dark eye covered the sun, thank you for sacrificing and, you know, killing your entire family and eating them. That was really good of you. You're a good person, and we baked this, we made this. This is just a rock that we found. We want to give it to you. We thought it looked cool. We want to give it to you. Thousands of years from now, people look back, they won't even be able to believe our values. Nearly 100 years ago, or, you know, or 200 years ago, slavery was A-okay. Somebody would be like, I'm doing pretty good. Business is good. I think I'm going to buy a couple more people. Doesn't that sound crazy now? Thousands of years from now, people look back, they'll be like, I can't believe they ate animals when they didn't need to. They just sent them to concentration camps. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a bacon cheeseburger earlier today, and then later on, another bacon cheeseburger. Because the piggy tastes good on the cow, all right? You can quote me on that. Also, something that you take for granted, but if you think of it this way, pets are actually friend slaves. That's a hard one to hear, isn't it? You know, it's a tough one, because there's a lot of people in here that don't want to hear that. I mean, they're going to go home after the show, and, you know, they're going to greet their dog, and it's like, and you're going to be like, see, TJ was wrong. Look at you. You love me, but you can't communicate with that dog. They might be like, is this the day that I'm free? Sometimes I shit and you pick it up with your hands. Other times you yell at me. Friend slaves, man. I was on the phone with Kate, and I was walking alongside a graveyard, ironically, and there was this little doggy, this little chihuahua that was running away from me, but it had a tag on, so it looked like a lost dog. There wasn't an owner, sorry, a master. There wasn't a master around. And I told Kate, and Kate's like, you gotta go get it. Go get the dog. So I go after it, and it's like, so I don't know what's going on with that dog. It might be like, get away from me. I finally escaped from the prison. It was talking to its dog friends earlier, and it was like, I found a weak spot in the fence. I dug a bunch of dirt over there. I'm going to jump the fence tomorrow during the day. Once they go away to wherever it is they're gone for 8 hours, and then we're just in the prison being like, are they coming back, or is this the day that I starve to death here? If I reach freedom, I'll come back for each of you. Triffany, wait for me. Triffany's a poodle. Triffany, will you wait for me? And then Kate goes, all right, you got to bend down, okay, and pretend like you have food. How fucked up is that? This poor dog is like, I'm so hungry. I'm like, hey, I have food. Hey, here you go, food, food. And the dog's like, are you one of the good ones? I'm so hungry. And then it comes back and I'm like, yeah! Back to prison we go! And then I return it to its master, and the master's like, you know, I'd love to offer you a reward. And I'm like, no. I just asked that if one of my slaves escaped, that you'd do the same. The number 6 reason I don't give a fuck, I won't even adhere to my own numerical list. The number 7 reason I don't give a fuck is I will buy a battle axe in Philadelphia at an establishment called Asian Treasures. Hello? You think I'm fucking... You see that? That's a thing. You want to hold this? Come on, get up here. You got to take it, though, and you got to turn to the audience and just scream your biggest battle cry, okay? And what do you think? That's a real battle axe. Wow! It's got some weight to it, right? Yeah. Wow, you went above and beyond. I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, he really made an effort to cover the entire room. That was important. That was an important and wonderful thing that he did, that he was like, I bought this at a place called Asian Treasures. When Kate and I went in there, we thought it was going to be a very different type of establishment. So we go in there, it's a place that sells kimonos and like travel chests and swords. It sells swords. I don't know if you've ever been to a place. And she immediately thought I wanted a sword. I guess I looked at the swords for too long, and she started trying to sell me. She's like, oh, no, this sword, good price, very good price. Blue steel, carbon fiber, handle, very good price. Good price. You like scabbard? Good price. You like a battle axe? Good price. This is good price. Battle axe, good price. And I was like, compared to what? I wasn't price checking on Amazon before I came. And I'm like, $100 for a battle axe? I don't know, that's a little steep. So I talked her down to $95, because it has a skull in the middle and it's hand painted. But you know, I had to ask Kate if I could buy the battle axe. So I said to Kate, Kate, can I please have this battle axe for the bus? I mean, it'll be so awesome if I have a battle axe, the bus battle axe. We'll get off at each city and I'll be like, ah! Well, now I'm going to be like, ah! 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 And I go, and she goes, you want to buy a battle axe for the bus? That's what you want to do? You want to have a double-headed battle axe on a moving vehicle. That's what I said. Hell yeah. And she said, no, you can't have a battle axe on the bus. You're going to cut yourself. And I was like, please. But then I saw it. See, it has these sort of plastic sheaths on either side. Can you guys see that? And so I said, well, what if I keep the sheaths on? Then it won't hurt anybody, right? You, She was like, are you going to super glue them on? And I was like, mm-hmm. Well, fellas, guess what I didn't do? So I took them off and I was practicing in my room on the bus. And I cut myself. And who walks in immediately? She walks in, she sees me holding a battle axe, blood coming down my other hand. This is not a knife, this is a battle axe. This is an axe specifically designed to cut and to kill. So I'm bleeding, it's dripping down my hand. She goes, what's happening? What just happened? Did you cut yourself with the battle axe? And I was like, mm-mm. And she's like, give me the battle axe. And I was like, mm-mm. She's like, TJ, give me the battle axe now. You did not super glue those things on. Give it to me and I'm gonna super glue them on, then you can have your battle axe back. And I went, I leave. And so she super glued them on. I took her to a Subway. Can I have banana peppers? Banana peppers. Now, provolone, please. The provolone. Can I have jalapenos? Can I also have jalapenos? No, not olives, not olives. No, in the front. The frontmost bit. No, jalapeno, not olives! So I'm going to tell this story really quickly. Kate and I were working at the Mall of America, which is a gigantic mall in Minnesota. We were both walking because we couldn't get through the Mall of America. It was too late. We'd been partying on the bus. It was like 3:30 in the morning. And we couldn't get through the mall to the hotel, so I was like, let's just walk around it. And Kate was really cold because she was wearing spaghetti straps. Mamma mia, these are spaghetti straps. They make it so cold. They make it so cold. So I said, look, you're cold. Why don't you take my shirt? Because I wasn't wearing this. I just had a shirt. She's like, no, then you're going to be cold. I was like, hey, chivalry isn't dead, all right? Will you take my shirt? And she goes, okay. So she puts on my shirt, and we keep walking. And now, I'm shirtless with a battle axe. So we got this little girl kind of walking with a shirt over her, and a shirtless man with a toddler body just walking with a battle axe. And I swear to God, I turned to her, I'm like, I mean, how funny must we look? Whoop, whoop. We turn around, there's a police officer standing outside his car, and he's like, sir, drop the battle axe and approach the vehicle. He called it a battle axe. So I dropped the battle axe, because I'm not afraid of anything, and I walk over to him. He goes, you want to explain what's happening here? I was like, I'm a comedian. The battle axe is a prop in my act, and I took off my shirt to give to my wife because she was cold. And he says, Kate, can you come over here? And she goes, all right. He goes, you want to explain what's going on here? I love that he thought I might be lying, like this is the strangest hostage situation that's ever been. I just found her at a club, and I was like, you're coming with me to the funeral pyre! And so she said, you know, this is my husband, he gave me, he's a comedian, he's kind of a prop comic. It's really embarrassing, actually. But he's a real gentleman. He gave me a shirt so that I wouldn't be cold. So he's a great husband. And the guy goes, okay, I need to see ID. And then he went and he ran our IDs. I don't know what for, perhaps, to see if I had any previous medieval armor offenses. So I understand you got caught with a jousting lance in Michigan. Is that true? In Lansing, no less? That's ironic. And he gives us our IDs back, and he goes, so this gentleman is, in fact, your husband. And I laughed out loud. Guys, I laughed right in his face, and he was like, what's so funny? And I was like, do you realize what you just asked? Okay, you're literally, we're just like, so you did, in fact, this was the decision right here. Shirtless with a battle axe, this is till death do you part, death? So the police officer says, all right, well, where are you guys headed? I said, we're going back to the hotel. And he said, listen, I'll give you a ride back to the Radisson, which is the definition of white privilege. So he gives us a ride back to the Radisson, and the battle axe is in the trunk, because I guess he thought if he gave it to me in the back seat, I would be like, ah! And so we get to the hotel, and I'm like, oh no, he's going to confiscate the battle axe, right? He's going to take it. So I run back to the trunk, and then I'm like, okay, so can I have the battle axe back? And he goes, nah, you know, you're walking around with a battle axe. That was the first problem, and then you were shirtless. You know, it's a double-headed battle axe. I think we gotta confiscate it. I was like, no, but here's the thing. It's just a problem, and you can tell because, see the sides of these plastic sheaths on either side, so you can't hurt anybody with it, see? And he goes, okay. How cool are the Minnesota police? So I was so excited. So I run back into the lobby to tell Kate, you know? And Kate goes, did they let you keep the battle axe? And I was like, mm-hmm. And she goes, why? And I just go, the number 8 reason I don't give a fuck. I'll tell a Derek's parents to go fuck themselves. We got any Derek's here tonight? Any Derek's here? You're Derek? Well, howdy do. Looky what we got here. It's just like a Derek's friend to out him for being a Derek. This guy immediately was like, come on stage. Come on up here. Come on, Derek. Yeah. Yes! These fucking Derek's. Yeah, it's a tough thing to try and get you up here. Here, you can. Whoa! Ooh, you're awful quick for a Derek. All right, show me your papers. Show me your ID. ID? Show me some ID. What is that? A Cadoba card? I mean, that is so Derek of you. How much is on it? Look at Derek getting those deals. Oh, we do. We got a Derek. D-E-R-E-K. You're not fucking around with that I-C-K stuff, huh? No double R's for this, Derek. All right, let me see your phone. Call your, look at this Derek at night in open-toe footwear. I mean, the fuck is going on, balcony? You see what I'm talking about, exactly. I mean, these fucking Derek's. I swear to God, some of these fucking Derek's, they're ruining the country. These Derek's are. Not you. You've been a great sport so far. Go ahead and call your parents and put it on speakerphone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, are you the mother of a Derek?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the name you went with, Derek. My name is TJ Miller. I'm the star of Yogi Bear 3D. Thank you. And as you can tell, We are here at a live show at the Paramount Theater. You're Derek.
Okay.
What's that?
What did you say?
I said we're at a live show here at the Paramount Theater, and
Yes.
and your Derek was brave enough to come on stage, and people really appreciate that. I think let's give him another round of applause. So as you can see, your Derek is one of the most well-liked Dereks I've ever come across. But miss, unfortunately now I'm going to have to tell you to go fuck yourself. Thank you. Give it up for Derek. So I had an AVM in 2010. That's an arteriovenous malformation. It's a congenital disorder that is a malformed area in your brain, which you don't use, but it's subject to hemorrhaging. And that indeed occurred during Yogi Bear 3D, in fact. My brain hemorrhaged and I started literally going crazy because there was more blood in that area of my brain. I started narrating my own behavior. I was obsessed with entanglement puzzles. It was a bad scene. I'm going to talk to these fake bears in the forest in New Zealand. They're not even there. It's just boo-boos, two ping pong balls on a stick, and there's this weird guy like, all right, talk to the fake bear. And I am going insane. Literally. And so I have a neurologist. His, neurology. So I have a neurologist, Dr. Stokel. He's a very famous neurologist internationally. He works at Cedars-Sinai in California, and he's the greatest. He's pretty cut and dry, but he's a great neurologist. And he called me and said, hey, you know what, he calls me, he doesn't call me that often, so, you're right. Ow! That's what I said when I saw his name on the phone. I was like, woo, woo! So Dr. Stokel says, you should come down to the office so we can talk. Now, I don't know if you have a neurologist, that's never a good thing. You never get down to the office and he's like, hey, I just want to tell you in person, you have 30% more brain capacity than all other human beings. Let's go take shots of tequila. Yeah! That doesn't happen. But I went down there and he just looked at me and said, hey, TJ, in my experience, there's no easy way to say this, so I'm just gonna, cut to the chase and say it. You're gonna die. And yeah, that's what I felt inside, right there. No! But I looked into the eyes of this man who's had to say this a lot. He's probably had to tell a lot of people, that they're gonna die. And I just felt so bad for him, strangely, in that moment. Maybe that's why I'm a comedian. So I looked back into his eyes and I said, in my experience, there's no easy way to say this, so I'll just cut to the chase. You're going to die. And he goes, no, I'm not. And I was like, denial, that's the first stage. He's like, no, but I'm saying you're gonna die before me. I know but you're gonna die before us. Like, bargaining, second stage. He was like, stop talking about my death. We're here to talk about your impending death. And I was like, okay, anger, third stage. And I got him through all the stages until we got to the last stage, acceptance. And then after, I got him to really that stage of acceptance, I stole his plant. Now let me explain. He had a fern, and I always wanted a fern. And so I stole it. And as I was leaving the room, and it was too tall to get through the doorway, so I had to kind of bend it down. Which is an awful thing to show a man, is to take his plant and bend it in half so that you can get out the door. And he said, what are you doing? I was like, I'm stealing this plant. And he's like, why? And I was like, in lieu of our recent conversation, you tell me. But I just love the idea that one day he'll be like at a dinner party or something and someone will say, so you're a neurologist, you probably have to deliver bad news, sometimes. He's like, yeah, sometimes I have to tell people they're gonna die, yeah. Hey, I don't want to be morbid, but what's the worst reaction you've ever had when you had to deliver that news? And he's just like, one guy took my plant. Oh, this? This is Evian facial spray. You know that? You ever heard of this? Huh? Cool teacher, you ever heard of this? You ever seen this? Yeah, you have? Here, you, sir, come here. Come on. It's okay. You know what? Actually, now that I see you, can you come? No. Come on. Come on up. It's okay. What I want to do is, listen, this moisturizes, refreshes, and tones. It moisturizes.